Welcome to the Rising Entrepreneurs Podcast, where we feature top founders and entrepreneurs and their journey. Now, let's get started with the show.
All right, welcome everyone. John Corcoran here. I am the co-host of this show. Check out some of our past interviews. We've got lots of great episodes with smart CEOs, founders, and entrepreneurs of all kinds of companies and organizations. We've got Netflix, we've got Kinko's, we've got YPO, EO, Activation, Blizzard, Lending Tree, and many more. I'm also the co-founder of Rise 25, where we help connect B2B business owners to their ideal prospects. And of course, this episode is brought to you by Rise 25, where we help B2B businesses to give to and connect to their Dream 100 relationships and partnerships by helping you to run your podcast so it generates a referral pipeline and tremendous ROI. Go to rise25.com to learn all about that. And episode is part of our Global Leadership Conference series. The Global Leadership Conference, or GLC, is a conference for emerging business leaders put on by Entrepreneurs Organization each year. I'm a member of EO and will be attending this year's event. I've created this series to highlight all the smart entrepreneurs who have been before and share their experience. This year, GLC is both in-person and virtual. It's in person in Washington, D.C., April 23rd to 22nd, 2022, and in Barcelona, Spain, and virtually. It's open to all EO members worldwide. Go to eonetwork.org to learn more about it. And all right, my guest today is Jim Weigel. He is the president of two different companies. Virginia Toy is one of those companies, and the other one is Blue Box Auction Gallery. And so we're going to talk about those two, how they came about. Jim, such a pleasure to have you here today. And I want to take you back to 1999 is when the origins of Virginia Toy came around. And you said it started as a good old side hustle. After your day job, you had a day job and you lived in a touristy area and you started selling toys to tourists in order to make an extra buck on the side, and turned into a bigger business. So take us back to that moment in time, what that was like.
Yeah, it was a great time back then. I had a wonderful job with a great company. I was in sales and super ambitious. And after the day ended in a traditional corporate job at 5 o'clock, I just wanted to go conquer the world. And I was in a new town. I live here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Beautiful place, lots of great activity and interest in the summertime. And just thought of an idea. Why don't I walk down to the beach and go talk to the tourists and see if they want to buy something to entertain themselves. And I started selling novelty toy items to them, glow necklaces and then bracelets and hats and things of that nature. And that was the origin of Virginia Toy and Novelty Company.
Wow, that's a true die-in-the-wool salesperson that you're selling during the day and you go sell in the evening as well.
Yeah, it's not even work. It's just fun.
So how did it evolve from there, from you selling toys on the street or on the beach?
Yeah, so I got a contract with the city of Virginia Beach. At first, I was just doing it as like a total bootleg street hustler, vendor, whatever you want to call it. Then I realized there's a lot more value to getting an established relationship, and there was some merit to that. So I went to the city of Virginia Beach and I partnered with them to be a part of all of their festivals. In this area, we do hundreds of different concerts and magic shows and really cool events that happen throughout the summer season. And then I was there, instead of one guy walking around, I would hire my neighbors and my friends' children and things of that nature. And I now had a dozen people going out and then 30 people going out. And I started using a lot of quantity of product. And I thought, I got to be able to get this stuff cheaper. And what I did is I learned where the suppliers were. And at the time, the suppliers were overseas in China. And in hindsight, it was a big venture to buy from China at that time. The internet wasn't what it is today. The communications weren't what it is today. But at some point, I just made my first trip. I went to a big trade show. I met some suppliers and just embedded myself in the business. And I got my first massive container of stuff shipped to my warehouse/living room. And at the end of 21 years old, I had my living room just piled up with inventory. And to justify that purchase, I had to buy maybe 2 years or 3 years worth of supply.
Wow.
But the price was so much cheaper that it made sense. So here I am with 3 years worth of supply in my living room, single bachelor, 21 years old or so. And it didn't matter to me, but I said, hey, if I bought these things for price one and I can sell it for price two, why not just sell them bigger? So I reached out, and my first wholesale customer was Busch Gardens here in Williamsburg, Virginia. And so I got my wholesale deal with them. And then I thought, hey, that's really fun. I can do it to more entertainment places and roller skating rinks and bowling alleys and theme parks like that. And suddenly it started to grow and evolve. And the amount of time and attention I would put towards the other job declined. And the amount of time and attention towards this new blossoming business started to grow. And that's where the shift finally happened.
In around 2006, you had a vendor who told you about EO Entrepreneurs Organization. You went to a meetup and you said, in your words, you kind of found your people. What was that like?
Oh, it was amazing. Just before 2006, I bit off more than I can chew. I had a licensing deal with Marvel, and I was selling Spider-Man toys, and I had a licensing deal with DreamWorks, and we were selling Shrek toys, and it was going really fast. And I was wearing every hat or many hats, and just tons going on. And I loved every minute of it. But it was up early, stay up late, just grind, and absolutely enjoyed every second of it. But I had nobody I could talk to. My family are great, wonderful people, smart business people, but different from what I was doing. And friends were not really relating to it. And then I went to this group, and EO, I never heard of it before, sat at a dinner table at one of the local restaurants and talked to some people that were members. And it was like they all spoke the same language as I do. They understand the trials, they understand the stress and the pressures and the joys and the victories. And I was hooked. I had to do it. It was just not a question.
And it wasn't too long after that you joined your board, started to get involved on the board level, and attended your first GLC conference as well.
Yeah, the term voluntold or unsolicited, just volunteered, is incredible, and everyone jokes about it. But it was the greatest thing that happened to me. I was asked to join as a co-chair for the learning and help putting on the learning events, and at the time it was social events together that we create for our chapter. And I loved it. I got to rub elbows and meet more people in the chapter and get my name and my face out, connect with more people, and just establish relationships that I maintain to this day after 16 or 17 years of time. And I've only not been on the board 1 year. So I'm 16 years in the organization. I try my best to serve on the board every single year because I just get so much out of that interaction of working towards a common goal and all of us volunteering our time to do that. And the best bonus of all of it is GLC. It's like this fantastic opportunity to get a trip somewhere in the world, and you meet with 500 or so entrepreneurs from around the world speaking different languages and different industries, all volunteering their time to help grow this organization so we can all benefit each other. It's absolutely incredible.
That's so cool. You said one of the most impactful ones you attended was Greece in 2018.
That was incredible. Just Greece is gorgeous. I think it was the food that I liked the most in Greece, but no, it was just great speakers, great connections. It was, being over in that part of the world, it had a whole different dynamic. This year we're in DC, so we'll get more US based folks, but that had a lot more European and EMEA and Asian attendees, and just getting that interaction, and you just make yourself available and talk and say hello in the elevator and that type of stuff. But it was just incredible to have that opportunity.
Yeah. Now, I want to hear about your experience going to COVID, because you had this business that was serving entertainment venues and amusement parks, many of which were shut down in 2020. At what point did you start to realize, oh crap, this is going to really affect me?
Yeah, it was early March, mid-March, something around that time frame, when the demand for face masks and PPE was really strong. And I have good ties and good relationships with different factories and different folks in China that could help get that stuff. So we were air shipping this stuff in the very, very early beginning. And that was the shift that we made to something to do, because we needed to help people that were asking me to get these items for them. But maybe end of March, early April, I realized that literally every single one of my customers was going to be closed for the year. And sales went to zero, basically, for all of the toy and novelty items. And we had to be creative and come up with a solution. The PPE business was strong, but getting saturated very quickly. And we exited that. We were just early adopters and helped where we could. And then we thought, what am I going to do? And that's where I got the idea to go into the auction business.
Yeah. How did that come about? Why were you inspired to do that?
I've always enjoyed auctions. I attend them. I like finding unique and interesting things at auctions. I find something unique, and I may buy it and then sell it in the future, or get to enjoy it on my own. So that prompted me to say, well, hey, maybe I'll buy more stuff, and then I can just buy and sell more interesting things. And I said, you know what? The guys that found the gold nuggets, they did really well, but the people that sold the shovels, those are the ones that really succeeded, and it was more stable and it made better sense. And I thought, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up an auction business. So I went home and I told my wife, and I said, hey, guess what? I'm going to go to Indiana and go to auctioneering school. And she thought I was wild and amazing and said, good luck. I can't wait.
So she supported it. She wasn't like, it's nuts. Why are you doing that?
Nah, she was great. And she said, absolutely. I support you. Go have fun and let me know how it goes.
Yeah. And it's both live and online auctions.
Yep. We do online presence first, and we have an in-person secondary as an option for certain times and certain auctions. So if we're selling, collectibles that are easy to identify, a comic book that's rated 9.5, there's no need to see that in person necessarily, although it's nice to have. So sometimes we might do that. But when we're selling something like fine art, people may want to take a look at it, or antiques, they want to come and evaluate it better, or just the fun that comes out of a live auction. So we have it online first, in person second. And if we have it in person, we'll do it live stream or simulcast also.
Mm. And then do you see yourself, as we hopefully are coming out of COVID, do you see yourself continue to run both businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. It's happening right now. The toy business has come back to life. The theme parks are eager to serve their guests. The end of, 21, middle end of 21, it started to open up. People were eager to get out. We've all been locked up for too long, and eager to go and just enjoy ourselves. And there's children that have been promised roller coaster rides and cotton candy and fun toys to buy and play and win prizes. And that's what we're going to do. So we're doing exactly that.
That's great. Talk a little bit about the impact that your forum has had on you when you realized that, my business might be completely shut down for the remainder of this year. I might need to find some other type of business to start. What was the impact like for you? And not just then, but also like earlier in your career?
Well, without EO or my forum, I would likely not be here as a business or as an entrepreneur. And I mean that sincerely. I've had a couple of rough patches throughout the years that I've leaned on some people that are very important to me and very close to me that I met through EO, primarily in my forum. And they were just instrumental in giving me sanity and helping in many different ways. More recently, with the transition and the pivot into the new business, I had certainly run the idea by them, and it was going fast, and we were all trying to figure out, what was up and down at the time. But the support from the chapter itself and from my forum was just overwhelming, and it was something that you can't compare to anything else. It was really invaluable to me.
That's great. And then final thoughts for anyone considering going to GLC. What do you say to someone who's thinking about going, has never been before?
Sign up as fast as you can. Go there with an open heart, an open head, and spend an extra day before and after. Find the My EO event going on. Find a local person to hang out with. If you go there with nobody that you'll find somebody even after it's over just to hang out with. Spend the day, find something cool and interesting to do. Just buffer that extra time because you're going to meet people anyway. But I believe it should be like a competition from your chapter and your board to get there. The energy that comes at GLC and the level of speakers and learning that happens helps personally, professionally, socially. I mean, it just hits all the buttons of why would you not? It's awesome. It's really a great event.
Jim, this has been great. Where can people go to connect with you, learn more about you and your different businesses?
Well, LinkedIn is a great spot if you want to connect with me on there, or blueboxauction.com is the auction gallery, and virginiatoy.com is the toy company for connecting there as well.
Excellent. Jim, thanks so much.
Yeah, good to have you. Thanks, John.
Thanks for listening to the Rising Entrepreneurs Podcast. This episode is powered by Rise 25. Please subscribe and check out future episodes.